Let's talk more about the Department of Government Efficiency and also this visit by Musk and Ramaswamy today on Capitol Hill. Our colleague, Fox News' Rebecca Castor, has this report. Let's listen.
A media frenzy on Capitol Hill Thursday for Trump allies Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. They're heading up the president-elect's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, and they're meeting with lawmakers to discuss plans for cutting back government spending.
How do you convince people who don't want to cut spending to cut spending?
Cutting waste up here is kind of like going to heaven. You know, everybody wants to do it, but nobody's quite ready to make the trip. Okay? Will this time be different? I hope so.
Iowa Senator Joni Ernst is the chair of the Senate DOGE caucus. She's already shared her plan with Musk and Ramaswamy, which she says will save the federal government $2 trillion. Part of that includes ending remote work or offloading empty buildings.
If we're not using the space, we need to get rid of it. And federal employees, you need to earn the right to telework.
DOGE has bipartisan support on the Hill, but at least one House Democrat says the concept is unconstitutional.
The Constitution does not permit the president to simply avoid what the Congress has done. That power of the purse is with the legislative branch, not the president.
There are already some roadblocks for the DOGE team seeking to trim the federal workforce. Thousands of Social Security workers recently signed a new union contract ensuring telework through 2029, a deal that would be extremely difficult for Trump to overturn. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Rebecca, thanks so much. In the meantime here, let's bring in our other colleague there at Fox News Radio, Ryan Schmelz. He covers all things Capitol Hill. He joins me. Ryan, good to see you here. And you just heard Rebecca's report, and you heard that soundbite from California Democrat Zoe Lofgren. That's a question I have. What statutory authority does Congress have or need to have to partner with, work with the Department of Government Efficiency? A lot on that question remains unclear, does it not?
I think it still does, Andrew, and I think the reason is because DOGE is still in the early stages. A lot of the feedback we got from members who were meeting with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, both the Senate and the House side, all felt that, you know, they're still trying to figure out what the relationship is going to be. I think, does the agency have the authority to cut spending itself, or are these going to be recommendations? And is this going to be like an authoritative thing or an education thing where they look at government spending, look at government waste, and see what they can find, and then send that feedback back to Congress. Then Congress passes the bills that would ultimately make the reforms that they're pitching. So I still think it's in the very, very early stages. No one really gave us a hardline idea what's going to happen. I think a lot of what we heard today were ideas, and you heard that with that listening session, essentially, that Elon Musk had with House lawmakers along with Vivek Ramaswamy, where a number of Republicans, from what we understand, went up to the podium. They gave their ideas for how to cut spending, and then Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk took those into consideration and either gave feedback or just listened.
So, Ryan, what are some of the ideas? I've heard completely eliminating the Department of Education. I've heard getting every federal employee back into their relevant office 5 days a week. What others?
Yeah, so Tim Burchett from Tennessee said that there was a lot of enthusiasm for the idea of eliminating the Department of Education and returning a lot of that money and that power to the states. One thing that was actually pitched by Elon Musk, according to Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, is actually an answer to the question that Hillary was asking Elon Musk. And this is breaking news. We haven't put this out yet, so you're getting this first. Apparently, Elon Musk pitched this idea of using a podcast to educate the public on what DOGE is doing, and then also educating the public about government spending and government waste to try and communicate some of what they're doing and why they're doing it, so that essentially the idea is so the American public doesn't fear some of the spending cuts that they're going to be putting forward if, in fact, they feel it's waste and if it's going to spend money and make the government more efficient.
So more questions, though, on kind of just the logistics of this new thing, this new entity. You know, what is their priority going to be on day one? How many people are going to be working for this entity? Where its offices in D.C. will be located? None of that's been answered, has it?
It hasn't, and we're still trying to figure out what that's going to be. I think we might have an idea of what could be something that they pursue early on. I think, like you just mentioned, going after the government office spaces, that could be something that happens on day one. That's something that, in many ways, Donald Trump would probably have a lot of authority to do as the president of the United States, because he'll have his own employees who will be sworn in, who will run these administrations, and they can pretty much require a work or an in-person work policy. So that's probably something you could see addressed almost immediately by the DOGE committee, but also just by the Trump administration in general. But where the other things are going to happen, I still think that's up in the air.
All right.